being gay was one piece of my Catholic faith that I struggled with, but there were others. So I really need to state that because I think it's important to recognize that the Catholic Church has a lot of strong stances on a lot of different pieces. And when I look at them now, I'm grateful for the way I was raised in terms of ritual. I understand what that means now. I understand how important a relationship with God is. I understand how important it is to take care of other people. But I also understand, hey, we shouldn't close other people out. And I also understand that this world was made for everyone. We are all intentionally placed here. I love the phrase that we were created in the image of God. I think that's so powerful. Well, I believe that I was created in the image of God, and I believe that God created me this way. So I stepped away from religion for a while, probably a pretty decent amount of time, I would say years. And so when I was ready, I got to come back to it. The reason I became ready, I'll tell you a story. I was a junior in college. I'd been out for about a year, really far away from God at this point. Like, don't talk about him, don't talk to him, don't care, right? And we lived off campus in a house. I was working at a restaurant. I came home late that night. I closed the restaurant. I came home at like 12:30 in the morning. My roommate had clearly gone out, right? You see all the beer cans on the table and lots of stuff lying around the apartment. And I decided I'm too tired for that tonight. I need to go to bed. So I go upstairs, turn all the lights off, lock everything, but didn't clean up or anything like that. I went into my bedroom, turned the lights on. I laid down thinking I'm gonna get up in a second and go shower because I'm disgusting, right? You smell like food from the restaurant. And I fell asleep. It's probably 3:30 in the morning. Something happened and I was sleeping lightly because I had just woken up. I heard something and I thought it was maybe just my roommate coming home with all her friends and they're probably a little drunk. Open my eyes, roll over, there's a man standing over me in bed. It's dark, it's 4 in the morning. I have no control over myself or my body at that point. I'm terrified. I hold the comforter on top of me and sit up enough to look at him and yell at him, "Get the F out of my room right now." And he looks at me probably 2-3 feet away from me, standing over me in bed. He turns and starts walking back to my bedroom door. He stops and turns back around. And I have this moment where I don't know what's about to happen. I'm terrified. And he looks at me and he says, "You left the door open." And then he walks out. And I'm frozen for about 5 to 10 minutes. And I reach for my phone and I start calling everyone. I call the girl I'm talking to, she doesn't answer. I call my roommate, she doesn't answer. I call my roommate's boyfriend, who happens to be a friend from home, he doesn't answer. I'm going through my phone, my parents, my brothers, right? I'm like 10 phone calls in. I know who's gonna answer the phone. I call my ex-boyfriend, Tim, who's 4 hours away at college, who is the person that I told, "Hey, I'm gay and I'm leaving you for a woman." So there's some embarrassment there, right? But I knew he would answer. And 4 in the morning, Tim answers. And he was the person I needed in the moment. And he walked me through, here's what you're about to do next, step by step. I hung up, I called the police, I got back on the phone with Tim, I cleared through my second floor to make sure no one was there. I cleared through my first floor, the front door was wide open, I shut and locked that. I realized that our back window had been broken into, and that's how this man got into our house. I wait, the police come, Tim's on the phone with me until they get there, take care of everything, right? So fast forward a couple more months, and now I'm not sleeping well, but I keep having this feeling of, I could have died that night. I could have been assaulted that night. Like, something happened in that room, and I can't explain it, and I can't articulate it. So a couple months later, I get a call from the police station saying, hey, we need you to come in and do a photo lineup. We think we have the person, but we're not sure. We just want you to look at a couple faces on a piece of paper. I come out of the police station, my dad's waiting for me. He drives up because he knows this is gonna be hard. We go to a diner and we get some food. He says, Ange, I need to tell you something. My dad is super close with his grandmother. He had this tight relationship with her growing up, and he considers her like one of his angels. He said, Ange, I've never told you this before, but I need to tell you now that since my grandmother died, there have been moments in your life where I felt like she has been watching out for you. There have been moments in my life where I didn't know what was gonna happen with you, and I knew you were struggling or something happened, and I would see this number that was associated with her, and it was associated with her passing away. And Ange, the night before that man broke into your house, I kept seeing that number over and over again. And before I went to bed, I kept praying for you. And I didn't know why, but I just had this feeling, and you were on my mind when I went to bed. He goes, I can't tell you what to believe or what to think, but I know in my heart that God had an angel with you that night. And I'm like crying at this point because I've never said this to him. I said, Dad, I know I've struggled with God for a while, and I know that you can't put your faith on me, and I need to figure this out myself, but I haven't told anyone this. There was another person in my room that night. That man did not leave on his own. I know there was someone who walked him out my door. And I knew it the moment he stopped and turned around to look at me the second time, because in that moment, I felt like this is it. Like this could be the end. And it was almost like I saw someone with her arm on his arm and her hand on his back saying, no, we need to leave. And so when he told me that story about my grandma, I don't know what I believe. I don't know what other people believe, but that was the moment that I said, okay, I need to go back to God. Like I need to figure out how I really feel about this. And so at this point, I identify as spiritual. I identify as a Christian. I believe that Jesus told us we need to love other people. We need to take care of the poor. We need to take care of the sick. We need to love people as they are. And my kingdom is here for everyone. My God is loving and kind and takes care of people and is just and brings people together and is inspiring and forgiving and graceful. And my God has carried my ass, and my God has dragged my ass through life a couple times where maybe I didn't deserve it. But that's the thing, I did because he tells me I did. And I think we're all created in the image of God, and I think that we all deserve human dignity. And I think we need to fight for the rights of people who don't have it. And I think we need to be more open to discussions about what other people's experiences are, because we can't just keep going in the same way of, well, this is how we've always done it, or these have been the rules. The rules weren't made for everybody, and maybe it's time to change the rules a little bit. I believe spiritually, like, we are connected to every living thing around us. The animals, nature, life, people, everything. We're moving atoms, right? And we all have this energy. And I really believe that we all come from the same energy. And so when I'm looking at another person, I'm looking at me in a sense, right? Because we're from the same energy. We're just living differently. And so spiritually for me, when I am being my most authentic self, when I'm not trying too hard, when I'm not faking it for other people, when I'm not putting on a facade, when I am truly being me and confidently, that's all that matters. And so spiritually, being me includes my identities, all of them, and one of those happens to be my sexuality.